Hi, I'm John England, founder of Property Solutions United and creator of Ultimate Investor Pro, the blueprint for creating a $1 million real estate empire from scratch with no money, no credit, and no clue. And in this video, I'm going to answer the question that I get all the time, which is, what is a lease option? The Wikipedia definition is this: a lease option is a type of contract used in both residential and commercial real estate. In a lease option, a property owner and a tenant agree that at the end of a specific rental period for a given property, the renter has the option of purchasing that property. Now, what does all that mean exactly? Well, here's an example. Say you're trying to rent out your house, and I come to you and say, hey, would you rather sell it instead? And you say, sure, what are you thinking? And I say, well, I'll sign a 5-year lease agreement with you, so you don't need to worry about finding any other tenants, and I'll give you an extra, say, $2,000 if you will sell the house to me sometime in the next 5 years at a price we agree upon today. Now, if we come to an agreement, I have the option to purchase that property at any time I want in the next 5 years for that set price, and you can't sell it to anybody else unless I don't exercise my option to purchase it within the next 5 years. But if I don't buy it, you still get to keep my $2,000. And that's all there is to it, really. I rent the house from you, that's the lease portion. We agree on a set price that I'm going to purchase that house for sometime in the next, say, 5 years. That's the option portion, my option to buy it. Now, you might be thinking, who would want to do that, and how can we use this to our advantage? Well, this can be good for a buyer or a seller. It's good for a seller because you can usually get more for the house than you could if you were just trying to sell it outright. And if you're a buyer, you can purchase the property with no credit and a low down payment. Now, let's go into how to capitalize with what is called a sandwich lease option. A sandwich lease option is when you reap the benefits of being a buyer and a seller on the same property. Here's what I mean. Let's go back to the example from before where I came to you and you agreed to sell your house to me with a lease option. I said I would sign a 5-year lease and give you a $2,000 deposit saying that I'm going to buy the house from you within the next 5 years. If I don't, you keep my $2,000. Now let's say we agreed upon $100,000 for the purchase price and $800 a month for rent. Now that we've agreed, I go and market that property as a rent-to-own because everybody understands that, and people are dying to find rent-to-owns right now. Why? Because everybody knows the market hit bottom and it's going up, and everybody wants to buy a house, but they can't because the banks are still very strict with their lending policies. Somebody might have plenty of money but have a minor blemish on their credit history, and now they can't purchase a property. So after marketing this house as a rent-to-own, I sift through dozens of applications and receive and pick the one that I want to sell that property to. Now, when I sell it to this end buyer as a rent-to-own, I'm really just using a lease option. And the buyer is going to pay me, say, $12,000 down, $1,000 a month, and $120,000 in 3 years rather than 5. And that's called a sandwich lease option because I'm sandwiched between the buyer and the seller and making money in the middle. I'll get to keep the $10,000 of the buyer's money up front and hand you the $2,000 that I owe you. I'll get to keep $200 every single month, hand you the $800 a month that I owe you, and I'll get to keep $20,000 in the end and hand you $100,000 that I owe you. But I made it 3 years with the buyer instead of 5 that I have for you for 2 reasons. One, if the buyer backs out, which they shouldn't because I get to keep their 12 grand if they do, but in case they do, in case they back out, it's going to give me time to decide what else I want to do with it. Depending on the market at that point, I might sell it or whatever. But 2, if the buyer does decide to purchase it, well, I can come to you and ask if you would take less than $100,000 for the property if I cash you out 2 years early. And there's a good chance that you might say yes, which leaves me with even more of the buyer's money in my pocket. And that's how you use the sandwich lease option to make money in real estate with no money and no credit. This is a win-win-win situation. You win because you get rid of that house that might have been a burden to you and you were having trouble renting out if it was me and you making the agreement. The buyer wins because he gets to own this home instead of wasting all his money renting a property, and I win because I get to make money from matching you two up. Well, that's lease options in a nutshell, and that's all for this lesson. So thank you for watching. I hope you found some answers you were looking for. Have a great day, and always remember to go out there, give what you want to get, and be the change you want to see. Go to ultimateinvestorpro.com for instant access to a completely free video training series that's going to teach you in detail, step by step, how do you build a $1 million real estate empire from scratch with 4 simple, no money, no credit investing strategies. Again, go to ultimateinvestorpro.com, and in this training, I'm going to teach you the 4 strategies going to show you what each one is and how to use it, and I'm going to teach you the 7 best ways to find deals for pennies on the dollar, and I'm going to show you what to do with them once you found them, and I'm going to show you how you can fund your entire projects. This works even if you don't have any money, even if you don't have any credit, and even if you don't have any clue what you're doing. And the best part is, this detailed step-by-step training series is completely free. Just go to ultimateinvestorpro.com for instant access, and I'll see you there.